you. Good afternoon. So I feel greeted. Did somebody say I need to push or will? Okay, here and then I have to use both hands, otherwise I will not see what is there. So I've got my screen and your screen. So I don't know how many of you were listening to Francois, but I was listening attentively and he said two things. Number one, we don't intend to keep you here super long. Number two, the CEO will come and do a short presentation. Did you? How many of you have heard that? There is a reason why he said that. So don't just listen to it and say it's innocent. It's not innocent. There is a reason, but I'm not going to go into that reason. I'm just going to ignore that message and continue keeping you the whole afternoon. So thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I will have the pleasure of greeting you and welcoming you, those are not of you who are not from Namibia, tomorrow morning when we have got the official opening. So let me not spend the whole long list finishing up the short presentation with a lot of introductions. So, of course, the heading says investment opportunities. But what I want to tell you now is, yes, we have got Namibians, but we may have guests that are visiting us. And therefore, for now, I really want to talk to you about Namibia. So, Namibia is a country of 824,000 square kilometers, and it's got 3 million people, which makes us the third least densely populated country in the world. And that is, we were the second until, of course, the latest population census, which made us number 3. And that's why you can see all those wide open spaces where you can just be alone with nature. Yes, we have got a democracy that has been thriving since 1990, and we have our 4th president currently in office, and we are looking forward to elections towards the end of the year that will bring us to our 5th president of the Republic of Namibia. I'm sure that from the geographic location, hopefully you know where we are located, but I think there is also a little bit of a map that you can have a look at them. The Namibian dollar is pegged to the South African rand 1-on-1, because that is, of course, one of the most commonly known currency, and therefore the South African rand is also a currency that you can rent in Namibia. So if you came with the rands and you don't have Namibian dollars, you can use that everywhere, but no other currency. Yes, you can exchange your currency in hotels and so on, but the legal tender is the 2 currencies. So there's a lot we can say about Namibia, but we've got a few slides. So the next one is, of course, why is Namibia trending? Here are some of the reasons that is making Namibia trend. Namibia is one of the few countries in the world that have got potential to produce green hydrogen at competitive rates. And we know if we are talking about decarbonizing the planet, we need to move away from fossil fuel. And many people like Europeans, Japanese, and Koreans are considering green hydrogen as the next source of energy. And Namibia is one of the top 5 countries in the world that can produce green hydrogen at competitive rates. And it is, yes, because of the desert, because of the ocean, because of huge tracts of land, because of wind resources, and because of solar resources. The other reason we are trending is because recently Total Energies, Shell, and Gulf announced that they found oil off the coast of Namibia, and they are busy exploring. So hopefully towards the end of next year, we might have 1 or 2 final investment decisions. We are the 3rd largest producer of uranium, and that is only with 2 uranium mines operating. We've got a few that are coming offshore. We have got significant for biomass potential, which is also another source of renewable energy. Yes, we are the one African country that is exporting beef. With all our desert, we are able to export beef to the US, to China, and to the EU. And also, not only that, in agriculture, we also have a niche market for grapes, dates, and blueberries. And beyond that, I'm sure you have seen the beauty of Namibia. And beyond, of course, uranium and others, we have got a thriving mining industry, which is the largest contributor to the Namibian GDP. So we rank in a few areas. Until this year, we were number 1 for press freedom. Apparently, Mauritania knocked us off the top spot. Previously, Ghana did, but don't worry, we always consider that it's a temporary hold that they have. We will reclaim that position very soon. We also really ranked as top 10 all the time by various ranking agencies in the safest destination, most peaceful country, best governed country in Africa. So the list is long. From a location perspective, that is where we are, and we have got a deep sea port in Walfish Bay. We are busy working on an agreement between our NAM port and MSC International so that they can manage that port, which sees us getting a number of cruise ships that are making their stops in Namibia. We also have quite a few number of people that will probably look at putting up some bunkering services in Walfish Bay. We do have another port, which is in Ludert. We have got two international airports, which is Windhoek and Walfish Bay. So, the top reasons to invest in Namibia tourism industry. We are an established destination for premium tourists. We have got authentic and enriching experiences, unique landscape. We have got a good and supporting foreign ownership regulatory, advanced infrastructure, easy access to our neighboring countries, political stability and rule of law, as well as, of course, your access to capital as well as repatriation thereof. What are the drivers of the Namibian economy? We at NIPDB were tasked with government diversification strategy. And that is really when we looked at the economy, we said that our economy was highly dependent on the extractive sector, it was highly dependent on government spending, and then what they call non-tradables. And when we were created in 2021, one of the tasks was diversify or implement government's diversification strategy that was crafted with the support of the Harvard Growth Lab. And therefore, those are the targeted industry. Yes, if you look at them, it's 10. Normally, we can bring them to 5. And when bringing, it doesn't matter whether they are 10, whether they are 5, maybe even bringing them to 3, tourism will always be one of those sectors. So, how are we doing in terms of attracting investment in those sectors? You can see there where the figures are headed in terms of investment between 2009 and where we are in 2023. And we believe as a nation, we are making strides in attracting investment to Namibia. So that are some of the indexes that rank Namibia in terms of Greenfield FDI Performance Index in Africa 2022. Namibia was one in Africa. In terms of FDI into Middle East and Africa by capital investment, Namibia was number 5, ranking among the large economies. And now, having said that, let us come to the hospitality. I'm sure you were wondering, well, we are going to hear everything about Namibia except tourism. So let us come to the rest of my 2-hour-long presentation. It's going to be on hospitality and tourism. Okay, Francois reminded me, a short presentation. Okay. So what is Namibia known for? I am not going to read through everything there, so please, the slides will be available should you want to access them. But yes, whether it is safety, whether it is peace, whether it is attractions and so forth, there is quite a bit that Namibia is known for. Whether it's being the world's leading source of marine diamonds and meteorite. And that's why when you look at Namibia, we will look at where do you go to Namibia? Many people that have come to Namibia, they say, you cannot go to Namibia for less than 14 days because then you will not see Namibia. So you need 2 weeks because the attraction range from the south to the north, from the east to the west, and then you can really, really experience Namibia. So a few things, tourism at a sector at glance, 7% contribution to GDP, 85% of arrivals in Namibia are tourists. Peak season, September to December, accounts for about 53%, and then May to August, 36%. So if you put the two, May to December, it's actually the time of the peak season in Namibia. But we are hearing now that our peak season is starting to change because the numbers that came in from January to April were starting to hit and exceed the pre-COVID numbers. And of course, after agriculture, tourism is the largest contributor to the Namibian employment. So who visits Namibia? Hopefully one of you will find a face there. Of course, we have got the famous one, which is Angelina Jolie. She had a movie here, and then she decided her firstborn child will be born in Namibia. You can visit the place where she was there. What is that nice place between Walfish Bay and Swakop? Langstrand. Okay. And then for those of you that understand football, not American football, so no, it's not soccer. It's football. Please, let's not fight about it. So when we are here, that is football. Okay, we have got football and then American, the other football. Okay, so football, soccer. Let us look at that one. So you can see quite a number of. I say Lewandowski was kicked out of the World Cup in 2022, and him and his wife needed to just find a peaceful place where he can rest. Guess where he went? Namibia. And then Lewis Hamilton wanted to visit Africa so he can just find out where the roots came from. Guess where he went? Namibia. And then somebody like Gabrielle Union heard that Lewis Hamilton was here, and she said, I am planning my 50th birthday and I wanted to go to Africa. Guess where I'm going to celebrate it with my husband and child? Namibia. And then, of course, Roger Federer. And then for those that know football, there is only one special one. He was here also. So, looking at the tourism numbers, you can see that our numbers were really, really picking up nicely between 2012 and 2019. And then COVID came. And the one thing that we did as a nation, of course, we really closed the borders when COVID came, even before anything else happened. So you can see we are starting to pick up. We do not have the 2023 official figures yet, but our understanding is that definitely it's picking up. And what we are hearing from January till now is most of the figures for every month to now, we have hit or beaten the pre-COVID numbers between January and I think was it May that they're saying that the last time we had the highest number was 2017 for May. So we are making good progress in terms of recovery, although it's going a little bit slow. So people that come to Namibia, you can see there from 2022 some statistics from a recovering point of view. Where do they enter? Why do they visit Namibia? What is the average length of stay? You can say average length of stay, 22 nights. So actually it's even more than the 14. And then we can look there again a little bit as to where do the tourists come from. So at this stage, we have the 2022. Mostly they come from South Africa, and then it's followed by Angola. Then we have got our cousins from Germany. Then we have got Zambia, Botswana, France. So Europeans and Africans mostly. And you can see a little few numbers there trickling from the US. So that is our target market. We want to see that number increase significantly. So that is where we are. And there, from a demographic, of course, then just looking at it, you can see Namibians do travel, not as much as we love them to, but there's a bit of Namibians. And you can see most of our tourists come from Europe. That is the blue section. So the black section is Namibia, the blue section is Europe, and then the red one is rest of Africa, and then everybody else there is somewhere in between. So that is where our tourists come from. And like I said, we are targeting some of the countries that we see, they've got significant sources of tourists, and Namibia is not getting those figures. How do we compare with our neighbors? We just compared with Mauritius, Rwanda, Tanzania, Botswana, Namibia, and you can see there, by COVID, we were kind of beating everybody in terms of total tourism numbers. We are struggling to recover. Others are recovering. For example, you can see Tanzania, they're recovering almost the fastest. You can also see Mauritius there is recovering well. We do not have the data for 2022 for Botswana and Rwanda, and that's you see why it is empty there. But you can see there we were lagging behind in 2021 in terms of recovery, and that is why the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism has come up with a recovery strategy that will start driving. So beyond normal leisure, we are driving the maize industry, and that is why we are here today. This is part of the strategy that the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism has embarked on the drive for maize industry. They have asked us as NIPDB to help them to kick it off first until they see where it's going, and that is why we are supporting the ministry in driving the maize industry in Namibia. The other one you might have heard is we were one of the first countries to come up with a digital nomad visa. It's still there, 6 months of peace in the desert while you do your work. And then the other one there is you are part of a 5-country program. We have a place we call Kaza. That is the Kavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area, and we are working at a universal visa for those 5 countries. It was announced by our presidents when they met in Zambia, I think Livingstone, just towards the end of May, beginning of June, and that is a process that is ongoing, so you are able to visit those 5 countries with a universal visa. So, quickly, Namibia offering, we say 7 clusters that you can visit, from central region to eastern region to northwest region to western coastal, northern region, and each one of them has got something unique and special to offer. Where do you go for what? Leisure, you can see the huge numbers for northern part, southern part, coastal, and then some few central there. If you are coming for leisure, that is where the people go. If you are coming for maize, you can see the central is taking the lead, followed by coastal, and then quite a good number there in southern and some numbers there in northern. That is where the tourism, business tourism go. And then conferences, you can see following the same trends. They happen between central and the coast. So, what we have to offer is 5 UNESCO World Heritage that you can visit. And those are the 4 of them. And then, of course, you have got the Skeleton Coast and a few other beautiful places that you can visit. How do you get to Namibia? I'm sure if you are here, you definitely found your way, but you might want to share with 1 or 2 people. So yes, we are trying to increase connectivity. So the Namibia Airports Company has launched what they call the Aviation Connectivity Forum, and we are really trying to push for connectivity. Of course, we need to increase the numbers, and as the numbers increase, we will see that connectivity coming. So currently, you can come through Frankfurt, or you can come through Addis Ababa, or through Johannesburg and Cape Town, and also we have got Victoria Falls as well as Luanda. Those are some of the places that you can come through. Or if you come by road, we are neighboring 5 countries, or you can come by ship through to the coast. So there's many ways to come to Namibia, but air connectivity, that's why we had Aviadev here last week, and we are pushing to see how do we increase air connectivity to get us more visitors. So where do you invest? If we would like to answer that question, please join us on Thursday for breakfast. So that Francois told me to cut that section because it's going to be a short presentation. So if I needed to make a short presentation, I needed to remove that part and take it to another day. So please, 27, 8 o'clock, join us for breakfast, and we will share with you many private sector and other projects where you can invest. So contrasting beauty, I think those are some of the other areas that you can look at. You have seen some in the video. I am not going to go through that one. And therefore, is how do you contact us? As NIPDB, we have got 5 offices globally. 1 in London, 1 in Pretoria, 1 in New York, 1 in Cairo, another one in Beijing. If you are from those continents, please contact us there. Otherwise, there is Francois, Jessica, Salma, Justine that you can contact. And normally I say, if all else fails, there is an email address there. Please send an email if all else fails. Thank you very much.